Hello everybody and welcome back to Transport Fever. Thought I'd have a bash at my logo. Okay, it's far from perfect, but it's not too bad. Where is my logo? It's in here somewhere. Or is it? No, it's in there. There we go. Yeah, okay. Not quite. But not quite like that. Don't look too bad. Yeah, anyway. It took me half an hour to do that. Whatever I speed that up to, I'll probably end up speeding it up about 8 to 10 times or something, so it's not too long. But yeah, there was half an hour that took me to just painting that little area there with bushes. That's crazy. Yeah, I do tend to start things that take me a bit too long. It's a bit off centre as well. Never mind. I do tend to start things which I get halfway through or part way through and think, God, why did I start this? It's taking me ages. Especially with these bushes. Now, I have a plan. The reason I haven't recorded anything for the last couple of days is because just before the weekend I downloaded Blender and I've been playing with that all weekend. I've actually been reading tutorials and watching videos and things for quite a while now. And I think I've got my head around some of it. I've got the basics anyway. I'm definitely still going to have to watch a lot of the tutorials when I'm making stuff, but I reckon I'm not far off being able to make some of my own mods. I'm going to start with some simple things, not too detailed. I've got some ideas for some simple assets which are going to look quite good. Hopefully I'm going to be, I might even have some before I finish this season off, especially the first one. The first one I want to do isn't going to take me very long. Well, I say it's not going to take me very long. It is going to take me quite long. It's going to take quite a few hours to put it together and get it working. But what I have been doing over the weekend is I've been playing around with making 3D maps using Blender, exporting them to a height map, playing around with them with Photoshop, and using them as an actual map. And there's more work to do yet, but I tell you what, there's a heck of a lot of scope there. I can make some. I made a really good little map. It was only 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers, but I had some really nice mountains in there. Some of the textures on the side of the mountains were really good. I thought they looked really nice. I'm far from perfect because it was far too hilly and everything. It'd been a nightmare trying to get a train round it. But yeah, so I've actually managed to make a 3D map, export it, get it into the game. Actually, with towns and a couple of businesses on there, a couple of industries on there and stuff. So I'm going to work on that, just kind of polishing it up. And so I'm definitely going to make one for the next series using Blender, and I'll probably do a tutorial on it as well. A lot of the tutorials I find with Blender, there's a few people that are really good at presenting. There's one guy called, I'm forgetting his name now. I can't think of it, what he's called. Gavin Abbott or something. Grant Abbott, that's it, I think. He presents it really well, and he does it in a way that you can follow it slowly and listen to it. But some of the tutorials, they go through the stuff so fast. It's just like, right, do this, add this, stick that in there, do that, pull one of these, pull the screen over, click that button, follow this, drop that down, and I'm like, by the time they're 8 or 10 steps in, I'm still looking for the button for the first step. So, having to pause and play and pause and play and pause and play and pause and play on the video, and they're hard to follow. They're really hard to follow. Like, it's alright if you experience with the program and you know where all the shortcuts and buttons are and everything, but yeah, there's that many shortcuts and things in it. I've got 3 sheets to print out of shortcuts, which I'm going to stick on the wall next to my computer. luckily I've got two monitors, so I can have tutorials open on one monitor and be working on the other one in full screen, so that'll definitely help. Like I say, the first assets I'm going to make are going to be some small decorative items. I know how to make trees and things as well. I've been looking at really good tutorials on that, even down to detailing the bark and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do some quite low resolution, something to match in with this kind of stuff. But I definitely want some better flora, rather than just having some bushes that are different colours. Because that's all they are, right? Really, is a basic bush that's just been given a different colour. So what I'm going to actually do is make some actual plants. I'm going to have like lavender bushes and make some big buddleias and stuff like that. Most of you probably haven't got a clue what I'm on about. Well, you know what a lavender is, yeah. Well, yeah, nice decorative things that you can paint in easily as well. What I'm thinking is, rather than just having individual bushes like you get with this one, because when I've mentioned this a few times now, but when you're painting in these, the spacing is just too much. So it's hard to fill an area in. You've just got to keep going over it and going over it. Either that, or you do what I do and do them individually. Which, after half an hour, oh my god, my hand is hurting, my fingers hurting, I'm getting tired of doing it, and it's repetitive and it's hard work, and it doesn't need to be. If we had an option for, I'm not sure on whether you can actually reduce the auto spacing or not, but if we had an option to paint in multiple bushes, so say up to, I don't know, say 8 or 10 bushes, all clumped together neatly, then that auto spacing wouldn't be a problem, because you'd be able to just paint in large areas pretty quickly. So I'm going to work on that. That's an idea I've had, and it's some of the ideas are just to make life a lot easier, so that I and other people can decorate areas, make them look really nice without having to put in absolutely tons of work and massive amounts of effort, because it doesn't need to be this difficult. Come on, bulldozer. There we go. It doesn't. I mean, this took me ages to do all this. I mean, it really shouldn't need to be that difficult. It shouldn't need to take so long. So that's going to be the areas I'm looking at to start off with the mods. Is sort of just things just to make life a bit easier for me and for everybody else as well. So you can be able to do this quite quickly. I mean, it's easy enough painting rocks and trees in. You can do that pretty rapidly, but there's a distinct lack of flowers and bushes, and I've only got these two colours really, and the green one, so I'm limited with what I can do. I mean, all this is a bit wacky. Tell you what I do want as well, some box hedges. So I'm going to make some square box hedges and some topiary as well, some shaped bushes. You get them in like little animal shapes and rabbits, and you get like ball shapes and decreasing in size and things, and pyramids, stuff like that. So I'm going to work on a few of them. I'll definitely do some square and some rectangle ones, so that you can make nice hedging along the paths. I'll do them about sort of shoulder height, I think, or something, and just make up so that you can do things easily and very neatly without having to spend hours and hours and hours faffing. I was just thinking about all the work that this took. I was in for ages, and then the gardens as well. So maybe having some things like this but decorated properly, having some options. I'll make some decorative panels that people can just go in and fill an area in, draw some paths in, and then I'll do a series, say 10 panels in one of the mods, and you can go in and put different panels in, have it all built up ready for you. What I find with a lot of the mods, although it's great having all these little pieces that you can do things with, it would be nice if you had some things that were already sort of put together with the pieces, just to make life more easy. Because when I'm building stuff, I'm going through and I'm back and forward. I'm looking for a wheelbarrow, or a sort of compost bin or something, or a shed and stuff like that, and it's just it doesn't need to be this difficult. It really, really doesn't. It doesn't need to be this amount of work. It shouldn't be. Life should be a lot easier. There are always easier ways of doing things. I'm all about sort of efficiency and you know, not making hard work out of something that you can, with a bit of practice, you can get done a lot quicker. Oh, but we definitely need some better tools. We need some better mods. So yeah, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to work on. Is I'm going to do a floral mod. I'm thinking giving some options in there for having planters that are already planted up, maybe hanging baskets that you can pop on the side of buildings and things. Obviously they're going to have to be of a decent enough size to be able to see them. Sorry, dog. I think next door's cat's out. Yeah, they're going to have to be of a pretty decent size in order to be able to see them. But yeah, some nice large planters that you can just stick outside the stations and stuff. Shouldn't be too difficult. It shouldn't take me too long. I mean, each one's going to take me a few hours, but once I've got some pieces together and I've started making the initial pieces, I've realised that you can do a lot more with a palette of pieces. So rather than just do what a lot of people do and then release hundreds of individual pieces, rather than do that, I'll give you a selection of scenes that are already made up. Houses with a nice big garden and stuff, and even allotment pieces that you can go in and just chuck several of these down around some paths and make your own. Like I said, some ornamental garden pieces and things like these. So you can make your own maps look really good without having to go. Oh, I keep saying it. It's been doing my head in, it really has. I've been getting so frustrated with wanting to do things, but everything's taking so long. All the minute detail and stuff. I want to be able to get on a lot quicker. I want to be able to get these maps filled in a lot faster. Right, so yeah, I haven't done anything on the game other than that, other than the logo there. Like I say, I haven't had it on for a couple of days. I've been having a bit of a break and been smashing my brain in on Blender. I had brain fog yesterday. I could barely even remember my own name at one point. It was just like, there was so much information going through my brain over the weekend. It's very hard to keep up with. It's very hard to get in there and get it stuck. I'm still not 100% on a lot of the procedures. I will have to keep checking back and going back to. I don't know why I paused that then. I will have to keep going back to the tutorials and just remembering how to do certain steps and things like that, because everything's a lot of work, everything in it. But once the pieces are made and once I've converted them into a mod, that'll then once I can start doing the mods properly, then I can start releasing some really nice assets. I think yeah, I've got plans for something out in the countryside, which I'm going to do first. Something quite simple, just for a practice and just for me to get my first mod actually made. Then I'm going to start working on the flora, working on the flowers and some nice bushes and sort of colourful trees and things, but not like this. I mean, I like these and they can be used and stuff, and it's looking alright with them, but it's like when this park up here, I don't like it. It just doesn't look right. These trees just don't look right. They're too bright. They're too, instead of having a red tinge to them, they're just bright red, bright yellow, bright pink. Trees aren't really like that. I mean, I have cherry blossoms, a lot of cherry blossoms near here that are really beautiful, look really nice with a cherry on them, but they're not just a weird pink thing. So I don't want to go into, obviously I don't want to go into too high resolution detail, but I think some variants, actually having flowers on them instead of just colouring them in like that, make some more natural looking plants. Yeah, I'm going to bulldoze this park. I don't like it. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with these. These look totally fake. Awful. I really don't like this. I've got people walking down the middle of the market every now and again. Not many, because all the people magnets are on the outside of it. But every now and again somebody walks through there. I've spotted a few of them now. So I want to change that up. I actually want to change the position of this. This is too big. That's something else I'm going to do as well, a market mod. So, you know, I've just fiddle around with all these little pieces. I'll actually make some market stalls that have got some shelves and things on the back of them, so you can just plop them down. That'll come a bit later. Yeah, after the plants ones, I think I want to do some little boats. There's a really nice tutorial on making a little wooden rowboat, and I really fancy that. I mean, considering that it took the guy 6 hours to make, and it's a little wooden rowboat, you know. And he's obviously sped the video up. It's not a 6-hour tutorial, but so following a speeded up video, it's, you know, it's not that easy. It's like for a complete newbie watching one of my high speed builds, you know, try to figure out how I do it. You're not gonna know what's going on completely. I mean, I trust that all my viewers are experienced with this game. I know varying levels of experience, and I know some people aren't too familiar with a lot of the mods and things like that. But I don't think people are going to be watching if they haven't played it. Because like me, I only started watching videos on Transport Fever because I was playing the game and I was trying to figure certain things out that I couldn't work out. Like how not to get my tracks all bumpy everywhere. So yeah, just a little quick update today. I'm not actually going to do anything anymore tonight because I've had quite a long day today and I've been really busy. I just wanted to get this in. But yeah, I just wanted to talk you through what I've been up to really. So yeah, I've been studying, I've been learning, and I've been playing around with Blender. I've been watching videos and tutorials for quite a few months now, and sort of, you know, picking up bits of information here and there, and sort of getting my head around the nodes and all that kind of stuff, and UV maps and unwrapping and all this kind of things. And, you know, it is quite complicated, but there are add-ons and there are tools to make things life so much easier. The terrain add-on, fantastic. You can make 3D terrains relatively easily and relatively quickly. There's a bit of a laborious steps to get it into a height map, and then you need to do a bit more work with it, but definitely promise there. It's definitely a good start there with the maps. I'm going to make some proper nice maps. I've been fancying doing a decent mountain route, but I've been having trouble making the mountains look any good. So they always end up a bit sort of weird, a bit sort of lumpy like this and things, and you end up with these straight lines around them as well. But with that add-on in Blender, you can make some pretty cool scenery. I just need a bit more practice with it. Right, so like I say, I'm going to aim for the next season to do a Blender map for this, and I'm going to try and do something. Like I say, I'm going to try and do something that goes through the mountains. I want a nice mountain pass. So I could be having mountains up one side with the pass going through it, maybe through the middle. I haven't decided yet. Possibly on an island with a run through the middle. Maybe even a couple of islands. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so yeah, I am going to be. That is going to be the main aim. Is basically just making life easier. Having some nice decorative pieces. I'm not going to even attempt to look into animation just yet. I'm certainly not going to be making any trains, especially steam trains, because there's so many components going to the workings of them around the, you know, having the animation on the wheels and stuff. Yeah, that's very complicated and very, very time consuming. So I can understand why the mod makers don't like taking requests from people. I can imagine getting bombarded with, oh, maybe this, maybe that, maybe one of these. And you're like, yeah, you do realise it takes 4 hours, no, 6 hours to make a wooden rolling boat. How long do you think it takes to make a train or whatever? you know, some of the work that the modders put into some of these vehicles and stuff is just absolutely amazing when you actually look into it and you see the inner workings and everything. But you know, I'm not the sort of person who's gonna sit there for 50 or 60 hours doing all the intricate work that works the rails so that you can say, oh well, this 240 bogie alpha, which has bogies and multiple linkages to this piston and that whatever. That's just not me. I wanna look at the trains and appreciate them. I would eventually like to make a few trains, but I don't know if I'll ever take it that far. I'm more about sort of decorative assets, and there's that many trains available anyway. There's that many good modders that do trains, so I'm just gonna specialise in some nice things that people can play around with. I would like some theme park objects. I really would like some theme park objects, but that's going to come when I can do the animation and when I'm comfortable with doing it. Have like some, you know, a roundabout, a Ferris wheel, and some rides, maybe even a couple of little roller coasters or something. But that won't be for quite some time yet. That is going to be quite a bit down the road. Structural objects, however, are somewhat less complicated. Somewhat being probably one of the biggest understatements I've used for a long time. Making walls and structural pieces is a lot easier, especially with some of the texturing as well. And something I've not been too keen on with a lot of the mods that are available is the textures. Right, they might be sort of true to size brickwork and things, but they don't look right, you know. And sort of castles weren't really made out of modern looking bricks, older castles and things like that. You know, we've got this brand new brickwork on here, and you know, it looks great from close up. Yeah, the bricks are probably about the right size. If you made a house out of that, it'd look nice. And like these, you know, they don't look too good from distances. They become very repetitive. The textures. I mean, the bricks are way too small on that. I mean, they're tiny. Since when did they ever make castles out of tiny little bricks? You know, on that one. You know, when did they make castles out of cement? You know, maybe there's a bit of stucco plaster on there or something, if that's what that is. But I'm not keen with the textures with a lot of things. I'd like some less perfect looking pieces. A lot of the castle's ruins. You know, the walls are broken. There's bits missing. There's bits missing out of them, and you know, it'd be nice to have some broken pieces to play around with. Not only that, once I've managed to create some pieces that I can play around with, I can actually start building some actual castles within Blender, do some old ruined abbeys and things like that, and then I can export them as mods, and then rather than having to build them all piece by piece, I can let you have them so that you can just plonk a great big massive castle down in the middle of your map, or an old ruined abbey with some gardens around it that looks really nice. Just getting the pieces together in the first place is going to be a little bit time consuming, but once I've got a nice selection of pieces to use, I'll be able to. I'd rather go and build stuff in Blender and then import it into the game and then use it whenever I feel like it, rather than having loads of bits in the game and then, you know, having to try and fight the AI and things and sort of do landscaping that's not really necessary. You know, you could just raise a big, or even just stick it on a hill and do it so that it flattens the terrain. Now, a nice big ruined castle that's all crumbling and falling apart, big rocks and things like that. That's something else I want. Walls. There is a wall mod, but the walls are very thick, they're very square edged, and they just don't look realistic, especially with the stone wall. They don't look right. They're too tall, they're too thick, and they're too square. And there's not enough texture or gradient in there or anything. There's not enough depth between the rocks. So that that is going to be either part of the first mod or certainly something I'm going to be working on to begin with. Some proper dry stone walls in various lengths, and not just stretching them when you increase the length size, like some of them do. Like with these, when you increase, like if you increase the height on that, you can see it stretch the brickwork. And if you increase the length, you drop it back down again. So all that is a numerical modifier within the game. So rather than do that, what I would do is create, say, 4 or 5 different heights, but so that the texture is mapped properly on those different heights. So it would end up being 4 or 5 different pieces, but there will be a selection for them, and rather than just adjusting them, which is what happens a lot of the time. I mean, the brick's way stretched on that one, you know, so it does mean a lot of work, like I said, but now that I know how to use Blender, or at least I've certainly got the basics down, I'm a lot more confident about tackling some things. So yeah, so sorry there's been nothing built tonight apart from me logo at the beginning. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that's quite good. There's so much flying over at the beginning of a flyover when I do eventually wreck the screen right. That's something else as well. If you're having a larger group of bushes that's low poly, it's going to reduce the frame rate. Not reduce the frame rate. It's going to reduce the I can't even think of words now. My brain's gone. It's going to reduce the poly count, so I can make them look quite dense and be quite large, but without having to have, say, 50 or 60 bushes in an area, where I can actually get away with just maybe doing sort of 7 or 8 stalks and then surrounding the outside with bushes, so it'll look full, but it won't actually be full. It'll be half empty underneath. But it'll disguise the area a lot better, if you know what I mean. If you understand. If you don't understand, I do apologise. But once I've actually been able to make something and get a video together and show you what I mean, then well, basically it'll just mean that there will be options on my plant one that when I do it, you're not going to have all these different things and hundreds of trees. I mean, well done to the person who put all this together and spent all this time making all these different trees, but the order's all over the place, and you know, the thing is, the coloured ones are only just coloured, and that's the thing. So what the intent is, like I said, is so that when you click, you'll have an option here that will give you a number of bushes. So say we have 10, so you'd have, right, see, that's 10 bushes there. And that doesn't really cover a lot of area, but I could, you know, I could have, say, about that much covered by 10 bushes. Or even less, you know, I wouldn't even need to do 10 bushes. I could just do sort of 5 or 6 stalks around the outside and then split the branches, cover them in leaves, and it'll look like that anyway, but it'll be a lot less count on the frame rate, so it won't reduce the frame rate. And if you add that to paint with, rather than getting this, you'd end up with multiple bushes, so it'd be easier just to paint over one another, and could have had that whole area filled in 3 or 4 strokes. That's what the plan is anyway. So I did plan on actually doing something tonight. I haven't got the energy. It's been a long weekend. I've done a lot of studying, watching all the Blender videos and everything. It's been very taxing on the old mental strength. Come on, slow bulldozer. Thank you. Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I have planned. Whilst I'm doing the Blender stuff, obviously I'm not going to be able to make as many Transport Fever videos, so my number of videos may drop for a little while. It may end up being that I only release a video every few days or something, or my videos become a lot shorter where I'm only doing half-hour videos or something. Doing an hour or an hour and 20-minute long video with 3 or 4 sped up music scenes in between, it actually takes me, you know, that can take me 3 or 4 hours worth of recording and then another 3 or 4 hours worth of editing, which is a lot of time, which is what has been annoying me more than anything, because I'm spending, like, it took me half an hour to do that, whereas if I'd have had a multiple brush mod where I could have just gone in and filled all the gaps in a lot quicker, it might have took 10 minutes, or, you know, I can get things done a lot quicker. I'm not going to tackle anything like a train station just yet, although I have been looking at how to do the glass, how to get the reflections and stuff, yeah, and using the alpha channel to cut out the sections in order to make fences and metal fences and things like that. You know, it'd be nice to have some proper fence pieces that are not these road pieces, because these don't work properly. The problem with these fences, oh, I didn't need to click the mods. Come on, slow coach. The problem with these fences is, well, they're in the roads category. They are actually roads and paths. If you were just to put one down anywhere all random like there, the AI will upgrade it to a road. And to show you what I mean there, look, it actually treats it as a path, so people will walk along it if they're allowed to. What I tend to do with these is to make sure that they're not joined up to actually any path. There's no connection in between there. There's blockers in around the edges as well, so it stops the AI from trying to expand. Although this has crashed my game at times when the AI's managed to expand and then tried to expand it into a road. I've had problems before I started doing the build series on the last map before that, when I did my very first scenics. I built a village location and the game started crashing, and after it took me a while to figure it out, because I kept going back and trying to sort of play it forward, deleting certain things and everything. But it was only when I actually deleted the whole of these sort of bushes and fences that I'd used that it stopped crashing, and it took me a while, but I figured out where it was that it was causing it. So yeah, you have to be careful when you're using them. So having some better bushes in. We'll maybe do them as a track asset, because you've got walls that go along. Sorry about the frantic moving around here. I'm just getting into a bit of space. This is why I use the ballast as well quite a bit. See, I could redo this so it's a lot thinner. That'll be easy to do. And then maybe, yeah, I could change the textures on it as well, but I could have, I could use it for making fences and things. The only one we've got in here at the moment, really, that I tend to use when I can find it, it's in here, is this wall. That snaps to the ballast, so it makes it very easy to go in and build a nice decent long wall. That to me is convenient and handy, so having that is good. Whereas when you're doing the castle with a wall, and they tend to be up on a hill somewhere, so they're sort of in there and everywhere, and you try to join them up, you try to line them up, and you're having to move the camera around in different positions, and then it looks alright, and then you place it, and then you move the camera around, and that one's not too bad. But quite often you think, yeah, that's in there, let's do that there, and then you go down and you end up with a gap or something. Mind you, I'm doing it quite well. When I first started using that, God, they were all over the place. They will go onto the ballast as well, and you can always build your wall and then go in afterwards and delete the ballast and just stick a few bushes around them. The problem with that is the AI will build through that wall, so you need to either use blockers or leave the ballast there and decorate up the ballast. But having the track asset, which is either, you know, say like a, rather than thick ballast like that, if we could just have a you know, a line of mud down the middle that you connect your walls up to, which you can curve around and stuff. I think that'll be a lot better than doing it in the road section, because the AI won't touch your tracks. I sometimes use this ballast to control the AI growth. I have mentioned this I did it on that tutorial sort of thing. Before I got the blockers, before I was using the blockers, I used to just run, oops, when I wanted to keep hold of an area, just run a bit of ballast down there and ooh, stop snapping. Sometimes you have to use the shift key. There's quite a bit I need to do. There's quite a lot of left unfinished, and I don't want to start on building another big area until I've got a lot of the bits finished off now. I'm not going to do it tonight, definitely not. Either before or on the next episode, I might include this in the speed build, but I'm going to get this done. I want to get this done. I want to get some shops up and around these stations. I want to go and fix these tracks, these tram tracks up, so there's no nasty bumps on them. Have we still got that one? Yeah, we've still got that one there. That one needs fixing. So that needs doing. And I want to decorate up some of the areas around here as well. One area in particular, this area. Get rid of all this. I'll just whack it on pause because it's going to rebuild them there quickly. Get me a bit of footpath, a bit of gravel. There we go. I'll get you right across there. Can we connect up to that bit? That bit to that bit. Right, I'm going to go stick a few blockers in here. Just simply because I quite like the look of this little area for excuse me. I noticed when we was on the tram in the last episode, I was looking at this and thinking, what, make a nice little sort of plaza, little square area. So we've got some blockers in there now, so the AI can't build in. So let's get me a tram. Yeah, this is looking quite good now with all this built up a bit. Just get past that stop there. Look, the AI snuck a house in there. But yeah, I thought this, because you get a good view of it on the tram, I thought it'd be nice if we had a couple of little fountains in here, some seats around, make it to a nice little park area. I thought I stuck blockers in there. How have you managed to get in there? Did I miss that bit or something? Must have done. So if you leave any gaps anywhere, they will squeeze in. Yeah, I'm just gonna decorate this up a little bit. Put a little fountain in. I might just cover it with a bit of tarmac or something. I don't know. I forgot texture wise. Got loads of textures with this. This is one of the German mods, so if you want a link to this texture mod, just ask. I'll give you a link. Just give me a shout there in the comments. Quite like this one. What's that like? No. What's that like? Yeah, that's like a cobble floor. I like that one. Let's go and paint that in. I'll have to change these paths up now so they're matching a bit more. Have got anything? So that's the vig. Does that look a bit better? I don't think tar's going to look better. Oh, I don't know. Oh, we want no traffic. That could have been a problem there because I nearly forgot the no traffic one. Cars can get down them, and I have used them by mistake in the past, and there are cars going around the parks and stuff, which is not what I want. Not sure on that path. Paths are something else I'm going to look at with doing the mods, because I would like to at least get rid of 90% of this. Obviously I'm going to make my own, I'm not going to steal his. I know how to do textures, I know how to make the textures as well, and I've got a pretty decent camera, so that's something else I'm going to go and do. I'm going to go and actually start going out and doing some photography, collecting all sorts of things, leaves and sort of twigs and bits of branches and all sorts of things, and getting photographs of moss and sides of buildings and stuff. Get as many different textures as I can. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to delete a few of these blockers if I want to get some fountains in. I don't doubt it'll let me squeeze one in now. Didn't you have the fountain in? Because these are non-collision ones. Is that the other one? Oh yeah. Oh, we can have a couple of little fountains in here. Let's get rid of them trees. Now you see, this is where I'd like some little statues as well. Could have a few little statues and some benches around here and stuff. Maybe have some little market stalls or something. Some planters around there. Some raised planters, some barrels with some trees sticking out of them or something. We'll do something a bit more with that. I'm gonna. Oh, look at them, they're floating. Oh. I might have to. What can I do with that? Rocks, maybe. Get the small rocks. How's that gonna look? I'm just gonna make a bit of a mess. Yeah, I can make rocks. I'm gonna make some rocks with moss on them and stuff. So ones that are not as jaggy or pointy, that stick out as much. Have them a bit rounder. These in-game ones are very. Problem is with them, whenever you place them on any uneven surface, you end up with them sticking out all over the place. I'm not going to do all 4 of these fountains, don't worry, I'm just doing one. I just want to see if it looks any better. Here are these big ones, don't want these big ones. See, that one's a long way around. These are meant to be small rocks as well. I'm nervous deleting stuff now because I've crashed it a couple of times when I've been deleting things. textures and stuff. Yeah, I'm not too keen on that. I don't think. Yeah, I could make that look better. Yeah, like I say, I'm not too keen on these rocks and stuff. I think I'll just go around the edge of that with some planters rather than rocks. And when I say planters, I mean, you know, like storage boxes and things, and stick a few bushes sticking out of them. Use a few of the crates and stuff. Because everybody, all the mod makers seem to want to concentrate on super modern trains and stuff. I don't want modern stuff, I want some old fashioned things. Right, so I'm going to call it a night because I'm waffling now. Yeah, I'll definitely be back really soon. I'll probably try and get some stuff done tomorrow if I can. I don't know if I'm going to record any of that, what I said I'm going to do. I don't think I'm going to record this bit. I'm probably not going to record messing around with the tram tracks. It's just going to be a lot of fiddly work, and you don't need to be sat here for 15-20 minutes just watching me delete bits of tram track and replace them and things. I will record the park when I redo the park. I've got an idea to make this look better. I'm going to alter, there are things I'm going to alter. I'm going to alter the positioning of things. I'm going to alter the way it's laid out and get rid of this plaza. I'm going to put a plaza up here. I'm going to put a plaza up here with some shops around it and a little market in the middle. Nice square, small market. Not go too big and overboard. This is too much. This. It's taking too long. It took too long just to do that, and it's not even half finished yet. So before I do any more on it, yeah, I'm gonna go and trash it all. I'm gonna rebuild this part because I don't like it. So that'll probably be where I start off on the next episode. Like I say, after I've got this done, so it might be a day or two before I get the next episode up. But in the meantime, rest assured, I am working on things. And certainly within a month or two, I'll definitely be starting releasing some mods. I think I'm confident enough now to actually go ahead and make some. I think I've got most of the workings. Like I say, I understand most of it now. I will still need to refer to manuals and stuff, but I'll get quicker over time. And then once I've got myself a nice selection of building pieces, working within the 3D thing shouldn't actually take me that long. Because I'll have all the pieces, and it's handy things that you can use, like only having to build one half of a building if you mirror. Mouse moved on its own. If you can build in like you're building in a mirror. It's ace. It's really good. I like that. So maybe when I do tackle some things like cathedrals and things like that, I'll only have to actually build a few segments and then just copy the segments down the line, and they'll automatically copy in the mirror as well. So making a full building is actually a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be. You don't actually have to build everything that you see. You can let the program will do a lot of it for you. It's just learning how to get the program to do it for you, and what you do with all this texture mapping with all the nodes that really got me confused, because there's that much involved in it. You can paint textures on, but I quite like the cycles method. Most of you probably haven't got a clue what I'm on about now. Like I say, I will do some tutorials on it. I'm going to do some nice, easy to follow, straightforward tutorials once I've got the hang of it and I'm a bit more confident with it. Yeah, I'll definitely get some stuff out there that'll help people, because I've found it really difficult finding good quality, easy to follow tutorials that just show you the basics and show you how to make some nice things. And considering I'll be doing it with Transport Fever as well, there's only one other English tutorial I know of that goes into actually from start to finish making a mod and it's Yistel Distel's tutorial on the American mailbox, the newspaper dispenser, and it's a 4-hour long tutorial, and there's a lot of information in there. To take it all down in one sitting is just way too much, so I've had to watch that in sections, and I've watched it a few times now, and it's really good. He answers loads of questions and gives you a lot of information, but it's just too much in one go. So I think I'm going to break it down, and I'll do some shorter sort of half-hour step-by-step tutorials that people can actually follow, and then, you know, I understand the fear of starting something like 3D rendering and all that kind of stuff, because I've never done it before. I've never used a 3D program before, and I've been a bit nervous of it, really, because it just seemed really so overwhelming. All the information and all the stuff that you've got to learn. But if it's broken down into bite-sized chunks that you can actually go, all right, well, I can follow this and I can have a go myself. And you can, once you start doing it, you understand it a lot easier. Like I say, I mean, I've probably learnt more this last weekend than I have in the last 3 or 4 weeks of watching tutorials, because I've actually been hands-on and doing stuff, and I've been learning because I've been making mistakes. And you know, the guy's going, right, you just go over here and click this, and I'm like, hang on a minute, I haven't got that section of my screen on. How do I get that section of my screen open? And there's all sorts of different windows and different things, and it's like, ooh, you know. So it's, I'm excited to start it. Now that I've actually got my hands dirty a little bit and actually been doing some stuff with it, I'm a lot more confident than I was before, and I think I'm actually going to be able to do some pretty nice decorative things pretty easily and pretty quickly. Like I say, I would have rather have done something like this in that program. If I'd have been doing this, I could have drawn one piece. I could have made one piece and then just put the one piece in four ways round. I could have drawn it on one side and had it mirrored on the other side. So if I'm doing, mirrored decorations, I can make them perfect using that program. Whereas doing this, I'm drawing it with a mouse and having to place every single bush down with my finger, constantly pressing the button, and obviously I'm never going to get it perfect like that. I could probably do it better if I used a graphics tablet. I do have a graphics tablet. It's in a box upstairs in the spare room somewhere. I need to go and dig it out, because I'm definitely going to be using it with Blender, especially once I start sculpting. Like I say, I'm not going to tackle statues just yet, because the sculpting is quite difficult. Obviously, I mean, looking at this one, the detail isn't as much as it needs to be, as much as they go into with their 3D models. This is actually quite basic detail, which is what you want really in the game, because you're never really going to be looking at it this close up anyway. But just actually making these sculptures in the first place it's quite time consuming and beyond my skill range at the moment. There are some really nice ones though. That guy, that Grant Abbott, he's made an elephant. It's absolutely stunning, beautiful. The texture work on it and everything is incredible. That's something I'd like. A zoo. Not just one big zoo, but say several animal enclosures, pre-built animal enclosures with some animals in them, and then you can make your own zoos. Just go and put paths in them and put them where you want. Yeah, that might be a while yet. Expect bushes and rocks first. I'm going for the simple stuff, one step at a time. I need to learn to walk before I can run with it. So yeah, I've waffled enough for tonight. I'll like I say, I'll be back really soon, and yeah, thanks again for watching. Good night.